All right, today we are tackling a huge question, one that a lot of you are probably thinking about. How do you actually build a career that lasts? Right at that sweet spot where biology, data, and AI all meet. I mean, it's a field that feels like it's buzzing with potential, but let's be honest, it can also feel a little uncertain. So let's get some real clarity on this.
So, you're looking at this space. You love the idea of using these incredibly powerful AI tools to solve real biological problems, maybe without being stuck in a traditional lab all day. But is this a genuinely future-proof plan? Or are you kind of betting on a trend that might just fizzle out, or worse, get automated away? That's the big question we're going to answer together.
Okay, so let's really get into it. To figure out if this is a brilliant move, we're not just going to speculate. Nope. We're going to unpack this whole thing by looking at a real-world example where this career path is not just surviving, it is absolutely thriving.
And that evidence trail leads us straight to Denmark. Specifically, we're zoning in on its life science cluster, which is just booming right now. This isn't some theoretical idea. It's a place where the fusion of biology and data is already creating thousands upon thousands of high-paying jobs.
So let's map out this landscape. What is it about this one small country that gives us such a powerful preview of the future for this entire field globally? Well, the numbers, they tell a really interesting story.
Let's just start with this one number, 7,500. That is how many people are working in life sciences in just one single town, Ballerup. This isn't some little niche thing. It's a massive economic engine, all packed into one area.
And it's not like it's all just one or two big companies. We're talking about a super dense, thriving ecosystem. You've got over 95 life science companies there, including absolute giants you've heard of like Novo Nordisk and Pfizer. And here's the kicker. This is all just one piece of the much larger Medicon Valley cluster, which employs over 65,000 people. That signals stability and just an incredible amount of opportunity.
Okay, now let's zoom out from Denmark for a second. What's happening there? It's not an isolated thing. As you can see, the global market for AI and biotechnology is projected to more than double in just 5 years. That means the demand for people like you, people who can bridge these two worlds, isn't just steady, it's about to explode.
And listen, this isn't just about having more jobs, it's about having better jobs. Industry analysis confirms what we're seeing on the ground. People with this exact skill set, blending data, AI, and biology, are becoming some of the most important, most valuable professionals in the entire industry.
So, the opportunity is clearly huge. But that brings us right to that big obstacle, right? That question that kind of haunts everyone in tech these days. Is AI just going to automate my job away? Especially if you're just starting out. Let's tackle that myth head on.
Here's the truth about how this actually works. It's a partnership. Think of AI as your incredibly powerful assistant. It's going to handle all the routine stuff you see on the left, the boring stats, the repetitive reports, but it can't do what a human expert does. It can't ask the right scientific questions, it can't sanity check the data, and it definitely can't interpret what these complex models actually mean. That's where you come.
And you know what's really exciting? AI isn't just changing tasks. It's literally creating entirely new jobs. I mean, roles like AI-assisted drug discovery scientist or data scientist for manufacturing teams. These job titles just didn't exist a decade ago. Your skill set puts you right at the front of this new wave.
So, let's be super clear about this. The crucial takeaway is that AI is a tool. It changes how you work, for sure, but it doesn't get rid of the need for an expert who understands the science behind it all. In fact, it makes your expertise even more valuable.
All right, so we've nailed down the why. You're chasing a career that's growing like crazy and is super valuable. Now, let's get practical. Let's build a how. This is your roadmap to getting the skills you actually need to land one of these jobs.
Okay, here's your checklist. On the tech side, you absolutely need a strong foundation in things like stats and linear algebra. You have to be comfortable with Python and its data science libraries, and you've got to get some hands-on experience with a machine learning framework like PyTorch or TensorFlow. But, and this is so important, you also need the domain knowledge, a solid grasp of biology. It's that combination that makes you a rock star.
Landing that first junior role can be tough. So here's how you bridge that gap from university to career. Getting a student job or an internship is probably the #1 way people get their foot in the door. Another fantastic strategy is doing your thesis project with a company. Also, build a GitHub portfolio to show off what you can do. And hey, be a little flexible. Your first job title might be data analyst, and that's a perfect stepping stone. Okay, is this starting to feel like a lot? Don't worry, let's break it down into a super simple 4-step action plan you can start on this year. 1. Really focus on strengthening your Python and stat skills. 2. Take at least one solid machine learning course. 3. Pick one course that gets you deeper into biology or biotech. And 4. Start actively looking for that student assistant job. Totally manageable and so effective.
So, you're putting in the work, you're building the skills, you're following the roadmap. What's the payoff? What's waiting for you at the end of this journey? Let's talk about the financial side of things because it's pretty compelling.
Let's start with that first full-time job right after you graduate. A new MSc engineer in Denmark can expect to start around 48,500 Danish kroner a month. That is a really strong starting point, right out of the gate.
And of course, it doesn't stop there. The potential for growth is huge. You can see here your salary grows really steadily with experience. Within just a handful of years, you're looking at a pretty big jump, and experienced pros are easily clearing close to 600,000 DKK a year, and often much more.
But here it is. This is the secret sauce, the real key to maximizing your earnings. When you combine that core science or engineering knowledge with skills in data, automation, and AI, that's what puts you in the absolute highest earning brackets in this entire industry. That combination is the holy grail.
So, there you have it. We started with a big, kind of scary question. We looked at the real-world evidence, we busted that AI myth, and we laid out a clear, actionable roadmap to a really rewarding career. The path is there. This plan, it's not a risky bet anymore. It's a calculated and very promising strategy. So now the only question left is for you. You have the roadmap. What's your first step?